You are listening to 2Blue and OSU, the ultimate sports podcast for your entertainment.
Welcome back, you sports nuts, to 2Blue and OSU. I'm your host, Zach. I am joined with the terrible Buckeye, Morgan, and a Michigan brethren, Ryan. How are we doing, guys?
Good. How you doing tonight?
I'm watching some hockey, hanging out with the dogs. Wife's doing homework, quiet, by herself. It's nice. I'm great.
Do you want to go ahead and start that over again?
That was a good intro. It was a good intro.
Which part?
And give me the proper introduction. I need a proper introduction.
It was spot on.
We have our local dumbass with us tonight, Morgan Garber.
There we go. What's going on, everybody? God, I hate you. I don't even know why I do this anymore.
I'm okay with you hating me. It's bothering me.
You need this every week.
You're a Buckeye fan.
This is my getaway.
You need this.
So we had some interesting news on the Conor McGregor front this week. Conor McGregor and Diaz are now both off the card for UFC 200. And they've been replaced with John Bones Jones. And who's his opponent again?
Daniel Cormier.
Cormier, the rematch. Jones versus Cormier rematch. Which is not appealing to me at all. I will not be watching. And Dana White did what I thought he was going to do. Stubborn prick that he is. Took what we all wanted, threw it away.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. They're not going to have as many people watching this one as they would have if it would have been Diaz McGregor. But you got to kind of give it to Dana White for actually sticking to his decision and not backing down, not being pushed around by McGregor or the media. Definitely losing a lot of money. But if you got standards for what your fighters need to do before a fight, promotion-wise or anything else, and they're not doing it, hey, I mean, something's got to happen. And whether McGregor was just that, hey, this is what's going to happen if you don't do what you need to do, or there was other things involved with it, I mean, obviously we don't know, but he's I give it up for him for actually sticking to his decision and not backing down.
It's done and over with now. I mean, losing millions of dollars by not having Conor McGregor fight and Nate Diaz fight. Dana White stuck to his guns, showing that he's the boss. It's his way or no way. And it is what it is. I will not be tuning in to watch the fight.
I will not be either.
I think Conor McGregor is UFC. I mean, let's be honest. The casual fan will tune in to see Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz fight.
They tune in for the trash talk beforehand.
You can ask probably people who don't even watch UFC, and they know the name Conor McGregor. They don't know the name John Jones or Daniel Cormier, or I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
I think it's Cormier.
That's probably right.
We're gonna call him Cormier over here, because we don't know who the hell he is, so we don't care.
Did you hear McGregor was offered $2 million to fight Razul Mirziev or somebody, I don't know, down here in Florida on Fight Nights Global, and he refused that one. And the co-owner of KSW, some Polish guy, offered him $3 million to fight, and he refused both offers. He said if he's not fighting in UFC, he's not going to fight. If he was going to fight in UFC 200, it would have been a $10 million fight, according to what I read online. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's not fighting for no $2 or $3 million. That's chump change to him. It's not worth it for him.
I'll do it.
Well, hell yeah, I'll go get my ass whooped in the ring for $3 million.
Right.
But
I'm sorry, but Dana White is not the talent. I'm not okay with him sticking to his guns. He's not the talent. I don't want to watch this fight. I want Diaz McGregor rematch. Dana White can stick to his guns all he wants. He's being a stubborn punk, and he wants to show McGregor that hey, it's not his UFC, it's Dana White's UFC. You're not the talent, Dana White. I don't tune in to see your ugly mug.
There's going to be a
Roger
McGregor Diaz.
of UFC.
McGregor, I was going to say that earlier. McGregor and Diaz will fight once he realizes that nobody's going to watch UFC 200 because nobody wants to see Jones and Cormier. he's gonna set it up
What'd you
because
say,
he's losing
Morgan?
so much money.
Cormier?
No, what'd you say
Cormier?
before
He
started
said Dana White's the Goodell of UFC.
Oh yeah, he is. You're right. They're one and the same.
All right, well, let's get into some NHL playoffs. So it's definitely an interesting round 2. I don't think any of it. Well, Morgan picked the Predators to be here, but his opinion doesn't really count. And
Yes,
nobody
it does.
picked the
I'm a
Islanders
champ.
to be here, actually. So it's definitely an interesting second round. We'll start with the Stars and Blues. Stars came out in Game 1. They controlled the game from beginning to end. There was really no doubt in anybody's mind if you watched the game that they were going to win it. Blues got a late game goal in the third period to tie it up, and then Stars came right back, answered with the goal of their own not too long later off a rebound that Elliott gave up. Both the goals that Elliott gave up were off big rebounds, so they definitely need to he needs to work on his puck control and absorb that puck and not let so many rebounds get off. The Blues have they've struggled this postseason in the second period mainly, and that really didn't change at all in this game. They were able to keep Kane and Taves in check in round 1. They got to do the same thing with Jamie Benn and Patrick Sharp in round 2. Stars they're definitely out there to win it all. They're looking good right now. Jamie Benn has 10 points so far in this postseason. That was actually from up to Game 1. I actually didn't watch hockey this weekend with having duty Saturday and Sunday, so I pretty much slept all weekend when I wasn't on watch.
Dude, you missed a doozy. Come on now.
Bro, I had some ridiculous. We only had 3 people there. You guys got anything to say about the Blues and Stars game?
The Game 1?
Game 1.
Or series so far?
I mean, whatever you got. I only had up to Game 1. I didn't get to watch Game 2.
You didn't watch Game 2, the 4-3 Blues win?
I read about it, but I didn't get to watch it. I was sleeping.
Slacking, hack. That one, the Blues completely dominated. The Blues, it was the exact opposite of Game 1. They came out and had 3 first period goals. Elliott had 31 saves in the game, and the Stars came on late, which makes me think that the Stars are going to take this series overall. I think they came out overconfident in the first period, and but when they settled down in the third period, he got actually made quality passes and weren't turning the puck over all the damn time. They got 2 goals, took it to overtime, and the Blues had a hell of an overtime winner. But I still got Dallas going in from the series.
Yeah, I think Dallas is going to take this one too. You got anything, Morgan?
Go Stars.
Oh, good input.
That's
All
why
right.
he's the best color man in the business.
All right,
Hey,
we'll talk about All right, we'll talk about the Predators and Sharks. Sharks lead the series 2-0. Nashville came in to Game 2 with a third period lead, 1-0, but that didn't last long. 2 minutes 37 seconds in, Hurdle scored a power play goal to tie the game. Then it pretty much went downhill from there. The Sharks got a goal 9 minutes later, go up 2-1. They scored again, went up 3-1. Nashville finally scored again, but the Sharks ended up scoring 5 goals in the third period. If you're Nashville, you're like, what the hell's going on? You're holding the game together all the way up until the third period. The Sharks, they were rested a little bit more. It was a whole week before this series even started. The rust is probably showing a little bit in the first few periods. But they're definitely coming on now. That was Game 1. Game 2, they won again as well.
I think this is going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think Nashville got away with this winning round 1. They just got lucky. I don't know how that even happened. Next, we got the Islanders and the Lightning. The series is tied 1-1. We were talking about it during Game 1 how the Islanders just came in and they didn't waste any time. They took the game over basically. Just started scoring right away, right off the bat. Had their way with the Islanders. Like the Islanders shouldn't have even been there. You look at game 2, and it was pretty much the exact opposite. Islanders came in there and realized, hey, they're not messing around here. But they need to find a way to stop Tyler Johnson if the Islanders want to win this one. He finds a way to shine in the playoffs. He's done it to Detroit, Zach, as you know, 2 years in a row. And the only game Detroit won against the Lightning was when they shut down Tyler Johnson and his line. So if the Islanders want to go anywhere, they need to do the same thing. Keep Tyler Johnson in check, and you might have a chance at this one.
I think this is going to be an interesting... I think this one will probably go to 7. That might be my Lightning haterade coming out. For the last 2 years, I've learned to hate them like San Jose. But, again, without Johnson being their main point guy, the Lightning they don't really have anything else going for them. He's it. Even in their 4-1 win, he had 2 points for him, 2 goals for him. And I think he had all 4 points. I think he had assists in the other 2 as well.
Yeah.
If he can shut down one guy, I think the Islanders can do that, and I think they'll take this to Game 7. But I think the Lightning will end up pulling it out.
I agree with you. I think it'll definitely go 7, maybe 6, 7. I don't know. I'd probably say 7 on that one as well. But it's Tyler Johnson. I mean, he finds a way. Even if you shut him down, he's going to find an open guy on the wing or on the blue line, and he's going to make people shine. I don't know what it is about the playoffs that makes this guy stand out, but any other time in the season, you don't even know who the hell he is.
How ridiculous of an NHL that we're in, where the Islanders and the Lightning are a good second-round matchup.
I'm looking at this right now, and it's ridiculous. There is not an original 6 team in round 2.
Nope.
Not an original. I mean, I thought it was bad when there was no Canadian teams at all, but now there's not an original 6 team in the playoffs.
Think about that for
Something needs to change.
1 second. 0 original 6s, 0 Canadian teams. That's insane.
You look lost over there, Morgan. You all right? You with us?
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for you to talk about the Capitals and Penguins.
I was gonna skip that one just because I know you wanted to talk about it.
That's the only one you're interested in right now, isn't it?
So it's definitely
because I heard a stat the other day about it.
Well, you want to take this one then? You were all about it.
No,
it's
no. Go ahead.
Series is tied 1-1, and I believe they're playing right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Penguins are up 2-0. I'm watching the game right now too.
All right, Penguins up 2-0.
Yeah.
So other than that, series is tied 1-1 going into tonight's game. I mean, if you don't get excited about this series, then you don't like hockey. I mean, as much as people hate Crosby, because I hate Crosby, and as much people hate Ovechkin, he's Zach's favorite player. I'm not a huge fan of him because he can only shoot from one point on the ice. But hey, if you leave him open, that's your own fault. So, but TJ Oshie, the guy is insane. He scored a hat trick in Game 1 to give the Caps their win. Completed the hat trick at 9:33 in overtime, and it showed more. If you go into Game 2, there was more goalie. The goalies were definitely showed up for Game 2, and there was more defense than there was in Game 1. Game 1, I believe the score was like 5-4, and it was only 3-4 in the second game, which, I mean, it takes a lot of it can take a lot of shots to score a goal in hockey, as you guys both know, same as soccer. So, Pittsburgh had 35 shots on goal. Washington only had 24. Both of them had over 20 shots blocked. That shows that their defense, they're getting in the lanes, they're taking away scoring opportunities. They're trying to keep this as tight a game as possible. They want this to go to a 7. I mean, obviously both teams want to get the series win as soon as possible, but this is definitely going to go to a 7-game series, without a doubt.
We all hope so, at least.
Exactly.
I am jacked for this game. I'm so excited that I actually watched it the other day. Well, a little bit of it. Well, because they had the Spurs and OKC game on at the same time. So I was like, why would you have both games on at the same time? But I heard a stat the other day that that Crosby and Ovechkin have combined for 1 point so far. Do you know, is that true?
That is true. That's a correct statement. Those two are not lighting it up on the ice. Offensively, at least.
I mean, you look at the Penguins, they have a lot of new guys. I mean, not a lot of new guys, but they got a few new guys out there this year. Phil Kessel, he's a beast. He plays for the Olympic. He plays in the U.S. Olympics team. He's probably one of the best players on the U.S. Olympic team, in my opinion, anyway. He's definitely getting a lot of minutes on the ice. Probably getting a lot of shots on net every game. And then you got Malkin, who is basically Crosby's right-hand man. Crosby finds a way to get him the puck usually, or Malkin makes a play all on his own. I mean, he's pretty much, in my opinion, he's better than Crosby. Crosby gets more attention for his speed and the fact that he's the captain. But I think Malkin's a lot better. And I think TJ Oshie is probably better than Ovechkin. Zach's not going to agree with me on that one, but
hell no.
Did you watch the Olympics with TJ Oshie a few years ago?
Oh, Olympics. We're talking about the Olympics.
I'm just saying. Did you watch it when he scored like 5 goals in the shootout? I'm just saying. TJ Oshie. Now he's a hell of a player, and I think he's definitely what the Caps needed to push him deep into the playoffs. He complements Ovechkin well. I'm not sure I don't know if they play a lot on the same line or not. I haven't been up to date on their lines for this series, but definitely should go 7 games. I'm sure that's what the fans want to see. That's what I'd like to see.
You are listening to 2Blue and OSU.
Now, I do know the Caps are down a man. They just had a guy got suspended 3 games for a dirty hit. What do you think about that?
I didn't see the hit, so I can't really comment on it. But it was, from what I read, it was an interference and a hit. As far as I don't know. I think ever since they started this new, they don't want fighting as much in the NHL as there used to be. They're getting soft. I mean, they're trying to turn this into baseball. Where they don't want people hitting each other or doing anything else. And they're going to lose fans. I mean, there's already not a lot of people watching hockey. If you don't grow up watching it, then most of the time you don't. I mean, there's not a lot of people in Florida, and there's 2 teams in this state. If I say hockey to anybody down here, and people look at me like, where the hell are you from? But hockey or fighting is one of the things that attracts people to the game. And once you start watching it, you see that there's more than fighting involved, and you actually like the game of hockey. But that's one of the things that attracts people initially. And I just, ever since they started this anti-fighting thing, it's ridiculous in my opinion. Let them fight. That's part of the game. It's always been a part of the game. Why change it now?
Yeah, I was I mean, it sounds like the NHL is kind of moving to what the NBA is now, kind of softer. There's a lot more rules, a lot less contact, a lot more fouls being called. And I kind of figured that this is the first time I've seen any player flop in the NHL. So I kind of figured it was kind of going to a new direction. Flopping is the new style now. I mean, NBA players do it all the time. So
a lot of times,
a hockey guy do it.
A lot of times in the NHL, the most time you'll see somebody flop is usually if they're in the crease or it's a goalie trying to get a penalty against somebody else. Other than that, I mean, most of the guys, they'll take a hit and then they'll just give a hit right back. They don't really care. More often than not, they try to hit somebody and play it off than they do flopping. I mean, Zach, you watch hockey just as much as I do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you agree with what I'm saying here?
Good input, Zach.
No, I'm waiting for him to stop because
You're good. I'm good. I'm good.
There's not a lot of flopping in hockey. We've had a discussion.
Watch hockey, Zach? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bad segue into that. That wasn't a good one.
I'm having a Morgan moment, but I was dumbfounded that he actually had an actual thought on it all, because our politician over here, Mr. Ryan McCloskey, was asked a very simple question by Morgan the other day. When Anaheim fired their coach, and Morgan asked him directly, "Thoughts, hockey guy?" This is his response verbatim. "They are after a championship. They have all the talent on the ice to win one. He was a good coach. The GM must not think he's going to get him out of the playoffs anymore, out of the players, and want someone to come in with a fresh perspective." What kind of politically correct nonsense is that? Is it a good?
You're reading it verbatim. You got to do that.
That's verbatim. Verbatim. You don't have any thought or. Well, he's a good coach. There's good players. I guess
it was a dumb move. It was a dumb move by Anaheim overall. It was a dumb move.
But you didn't just come out and say that. You had to have this well, he's a good coach. The GM's a good GM, but I guess he doesn't think he can take him to the next level.
I don't know if the GM's good or not. I don't know who he is, but he's a good coach. He's got everything there to win it all. It was stupid. I mean, it was a horrible move on their part. Basically, they're going to be rebuilding now, bringing a new coach in.
So yes, I was dumbfounded that he actually had his own, an actual response to flopping, and all that.
And all that.
I'm also watching the game right now too. It's a good game, man. You're not watching the game. Pittsburgh, Washington's on right now.
I know. I got it streaming right now.
Oh, sorry. I'm Morganed out there. I guess I dugged out. We'll call it. That's our word, right? I dugged out there. I was watching Big Bang Theory, dude.
It was a mixture because you went quiet and then you're like, yeah,
yeah.
That's great input. that was all you had to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch a lot of hockey, Zach.
You watch a lot of hockey, Zach. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the best segue, but I figured you just picked up with it and had some input on it. It's cool.
Usually I would have, but I was I was being a dick and waiting for my turn to talk. So that's what I was doing.
He wasn't paying any attention.
I wasn't.
Nothing that you said, Ryan. He was just waiting for his moment. He was waiting for his moment to put you on blast.
And in turn, I ended up looking like a jackass. So I'm going to hear your guys' conversation for the first time when we post this episode. I'm going to hear that conversation for the very first time.
I was hoping he forgot about the whole Anaheim coach thing, but I guess not.
I did until you actually had a point on something. And then I was
so it's Morgan's fault for asking me a question.
Yeah. All Morgan's fault.
That's all. I mean, let's get into sport this week in sports history, guys. I got a few of them here. Let me figure out which I think is the best in my opinion. Morgan, why don't you start it up?
All right. My This Week in Sports comes on May 1st, 1991. Ricky Henderson stole his 939th base to break Lou Brock's record for stolen bases in a career. Ricky Henderson ended his career with 1,409. So I thought that was pretty cool. I kind of hope the young guy that we got for the Reds, I just completely forgot his name, Billy Hamilton, breaks that record one day. And what's pretty cool was that when Ricky Henderson stole that base, he kind of picked the base up and kind of held it up. That's like an iconic picture. So mine was Ricky Henderson from the Oakland Athletics for this stolen base record.
My This Week in Sports History comes on April 28th from 1923. I'm finding a way to get soccer in the podcast again. Wembley Stadium opened up for the first time when the Bolton Wanderers took on West Ham United in the FA Cup. Wembley Stadium's the iconic stadium that all the FA Cup matches are played in now, the semifinals and the final are played at, and the Capital One Cup. Opened in 1923 on April 28th.
That's a good one. Good to know. I'm gonna try to keep up with soccer a little bit more. Everybody at work watches soccer. I got a couple Jamaican guys on the ship that watch soccer, so I try to keep up on it a little bit, but it's hard. All right, so
you should start by calling it football. Just saying.
Well, I'm probably never going to do that. So, all right, well, I got a baseball one. April 26, 1912, the first home run ever hit at Fenway Park by Hugh Bradley. It's pretty impressive moment right there. You're first guy to hit a home run in a brand new park.
Do they have the Green Monster always? Was the stadium built with the Green Monster?
That I don't know.
No, I think it was added on some years later. I have to look that up. Ryan, your other one, I'll look that up.
You actually answered that question. Like, if you're wrong, people are going to call you. There's a lot of Red Sox fans out there who are crazy. So if you're wrong, they're going to let you know that you're wrong.
I got to be confident.
You shouldn't be.
I try to keep it to hockey facts, but that one was pretty interesting, so I wanted to throw that out there. I got a hockey one too, but
by all means, do share.
While Morgan's looking that up, 1989, April 25th, Mario Lemieux ties the NHL playoff record by scoring 4 goals in the first period in a playoff game. That's pretty impressive. 4 goals in one period.
Washington might need that here soon.
That's one player, though, not a team.
Yeah, but Ovechkin can do that by himself.
No, he can't.
He's the GOAT, like Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's not the good. There's so many better players.
I disagree.
Ovechkin.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I mean, you're one of those guys who's only looking at this era at this point in time. You're not looking at the broad spectrum of hockey.
I know. I'm pulling.
Do you know who Mr. Hockey is? Do you forget who Mr. Hockey is?
Gordie Howe?
Exactly.
How dare you ask me if I forgot that question?
I mean, the way you're talking about Ovechkin, you forgot about him.
I got a man crush on Ovechkin. Leave it alone, man. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo. I got one for him too. Even though I know there's Pele and you have Ronaldinho, you have a bunch of great players before Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is my GOAT for football. So
I've actually met Gordie Howe. He's a pretty cool guy.
Morgan, did you find that yet?
Yeah, it says the wall, as it was called back in the day, was part of the park when it was originally built in 1912. At first, it was constructed to keep spectators who did not pay for admission and continue to see the game at no charge. And then it says the original wall was made of wood, burned down with much of the park in 1934. Then it was rebuilt and made of tin upon its reconstruction. The current wall we know and love today was built of hard plastic and assembled in 1976.
Okay. So the idea was an original part of the park, but the one...
Yeah, but it wasn't...
The Green Monster
like
is 1976 then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's our episode 12. We have NBA playoff talk coming up on NBA. Episode 13. I'm having a good show, guys. I tell you what, I am on it tonight. This is not a bounce back one for me. We're going to talk a little bit about the NBA Coach of the Year that was announced last week, and Morgan is going to really enjoy that one, I think. That's our show. We thank y'all for listening. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at 2BlueandOSU. Like us on Facebook, and tell Morgan why he's an idiot on our Facebook page after every single episode. That'd be very much appreciated. Y'all have a great week.